Hey, one of the main reasons I started this channel was as a worship leader, my heart for you and your team is that you would get to experience unity and love in a powerful way. If you're new to the channel, my name is Brendan. I've been leading worship for about 15 years. My worship team, they're some of my favorite people to hang out with. We do spend a lot of time together at church and outside of church. Today, specifically, I want to talk to you about the importance of connecting with your team members and just some of the things that I've done over the years and what's worked really well. As leaders, I think our tendency, a lot of us wear many different hats serving at the church. I think that's pretty normal. But our tendency is to only really connect with the team on Sunday mornings or when there's a service. And we all know that's not the best time to connect. Things can get hectic, and it's just not that focused time that you really need to build a fruitful relationship. So for us, what we've been kind of intentional about doing is we'll do one rehearsal a month, but there's also a dinner, and then I've got a writing session later on in the month. But that first Thursday of every month, we do a thing at our church called Build, and the entire team is invited, regardless of whether or not they're playing the following week. And we all eat together, we pray together, and then we rehearse either for the following services that Sunday or our monthly worship service. Kind of goes back and forth just depending on what's needed. But that's a great time just to get together and connect. And man, again, dinner's like eating together. We all love food. Eating together is one of those things that's just, you make small talk, you get to laugh. It's just really, eating together is really just a very pure form of connecting with other people, especially those on your team. So I would encourage you to have something once a month or, once a quarter, whatever works for you, but be intentional about connecting with your teammates and, just eating together. It really is the simplest form of connection. The other thing that we do is songwriting. And, we finished a song recently that I hope that I can share on this channel soon. But again, that's another time where, we get together and we'll do a short devotional with a reading, and then we pray, and then we start writing together. But again, it's that intentionality about being together. It's so important for your team that they interact with one another, that they connect, because, especially if you've got a larger team, everybody might not know everybody that well. And, what really makes a difference unity-wise is that when people are comfortable with one another, they're going to lead. That's just a fact. They're going to lead and play together better. It's just a fact. Some of the other events that we do is just like, I love football. So, a lot of the team loves football, have, them and their families over to watch the games. But that time outside of church too is so important, just to connect, just to hang out. You don't have to talk about church. You don't have to talk about, upcoming songs or upcoming events. You just hang out. Those are some of the best times to really connect with the team. So what do I do individually? And, it does vary from person to person, obviously. But one of the things that I've looked back over the years and realized, hey, that's kind of what I do, is I'll find things that people are very passionate about, and then I'll see if that's something that I enjoy, and then we can do that together. For perfect example, one of the guys that's been on the team with me for a few years now, I've known him for almost 25 years, is the last 3 years, we've worked out a lot together. And, I get the benefit of some, being a little more healthy, and, but also that time spending together is, then there are times for conversations where, we talk about family, we talk about faith, we talk about church, we talk about everything, in that hour and a half, handful of times a week. But those are the kinds of things that as leaders, if we're intentional about making that time to connect with people, it's going to make a difference in our relationships, and it's going to make a difference in your team. Another thing is I love to play video games. I don't get to do it as much as I used to, but a few of the members on the team, we used to play video games together quite a bit. But again, it's just a good thing to connect with people that's outside of church. Another thing, I always wanted a motorcycle, and a couple buddies from church, one of them was on the team. He's like, "Hey, I'm getting this on-road, off-road bike. You should really get one and ride with us." And So, that was another area where I was like, oh man, that's a great opportunity for me to not only get to do something that's amazingly fun, but also connect with a teammate and just be together, not think or talk about church. And that really is what makes a difference. You find what people are passionate about, and if it's reasonable, and I know it's going to be different if I'm a male leader. I'm not really going to find things that can connect with the women on the team, but to connect with them, the best thing that you can do is have your families get together. If they've got kids, have your kids hang out. Those are the times where you really connect with one another, and you're talking about, what are your kids going through? What are you struggling with? What's going great for you? Nothing it doesn't always have to be like, oh, what's going bad? A lot of what makes a difference is just simply setting that time aside and being intentional about spending time with your team and having that time outside of church. I'm telling you right now, it will absolutely make a difference. And if you really set time aside to connect with your teammates and to connect with those that you lead, it's almost an instant difference that you will notice, because the more unified that your team is, and the more that they're connected with you, and the more they trust you, the more that they're connected with one another, that's just going to make your team that much better. And spiritually, top of the list, and musically, because like I said earlier, when people are comfortable with one another, your band, they're just going to be better. That's a fact. So, man, I hope that some of these suggestions and ideas, maybe they sparked something in you or helped you identify some areas you need to improve. If you've got any questions, please feel free to leave me a comment below. I'm happy to respond to all your comments. But if you'd love maybe some one-on-one coaching or whatever, shoot me a message and I'd love to set something up. I'll be having a great week, and God bless.